Hello everyone, this is Brenda with Team Puerto Rico at DNAngels, here with another client story. Now, this client, her name is Jean, and she was adorable. She had this cute little saying that she said she went to sleep on May 4th, Irish, and when she woke up the next day, she was Mexican. And the reason for this is when Jean took her DNA test, she realized that she wasn't 100% Irish, that she had Mexican ethnicity. And she explains that it didn't come to her as that much of a surprise because she remembers, her mom always telling her when she was out in the sun, you shouldn't be out in the sun, you're getting too dark, you're gonna get cancer. And she says that she couldn't understand why her mom would get so mad when she was out playing in the sun, and that she was kind of tan, getting tan. Mind you, she was an only child, so she didn't really have siblings to compare that, oh, hey, look at me, I get really, a lot more darker than you do. But she has beautiful green eyes, she has blonde hair, and very light skin and freckles. And so for her growing up, it didn't like come to her thinking, I think I'm not completely Caucasian. No, that never came into her mind. It wasn't until later on when she was an adult, and we're talking like an adult in her 60s, before she took a DNA test because someone had gifted it to her. And she thought, hey, cool, I've mapped out my tree, especially her dad's side, because her and her dad were very, very close. She says he was the best father that she could have ever had. And the mom, on the other hand, she does not say nice things about her. The mother's name is Jackie. So Jackie, when Jean was 5 years old, she abandoned her and abandoned the husband. She ran off with the husband's best friend. Yeah, pretty scandalous, especially you're talking about way back then, right? But then like a couple of years later, she didn't want to be, I guess, with that guy anymore. She came back to the husband, and he took her back because he was, deeply, deeply in love with her. And I guess he didn't think she could do no wrong. But apparently, speaking to, Jean, her mom, Jackie, was a wild one. And she even uses the word narcissist, but I'm getting like away from the story. So she took the DNA test. She never really, she never had any indications that she was anything but her dad's daughter. She loved him. His name was Clark. So, she adored Clark. She said he was the best father, and he took really good care of her. And to the day that he passed away, did not know, or it gave any indication that he ever thought that she was not his child. The mom, Jackie, she's still alive, and when she did the DNA tests, of course, confronted the mother and was like, oh my God, my dad, Clark, was not my dad, and is showing here that I have half Mexican ethnicity. Is this the reason why you used to get so mad when I'd be out in the sun and you would say, I was getting dark, and, is it this your guilty conscience that was speaking to you? And the mom's like, you are wrong. The DNA is wrong. Your dad is Clark. I've never ever been with anybody else but your dad, which of course we know is untrue, right? So that's when, Jean came to us, and she let us, view her DNA. We put together very quickly, which was kind of a surprise, because sometimes Mexican cases can take a really long time and can be really difficult. But she has some really good matches. And right away, I was able to actually give her the name of her bio father. Because, a lot of times, depending, we're arriving at the conclusion of bio dad based on how many children the grandparents had. So once we found her grandparents, they had 3 sons, but we were able to rule out the other 2 sons because one of the sons, we actually had DNA, underneath him, his offspring. And he was not coming in as a half sibling match to Jean. So we knew right away, okay, he's your uncle and he can't be your dad. So that ruled him out. So then there was left with the other 2. And one was 21, which was very similar in age to the mother, Jackie. She was 23 years old at the time. And the other son was 13 years old. So that's why we ruled him out automatically. And we said that if these 2 sons that we were saying, was Alfredo, and the other one was Juan. And of course, we had ruled out Mario. Mario was definitely an uncle. And then we had Alfredo, who was 21, and then Juan, who was 13. So we told her father was Alfredo. And so they do have some children. And we told her, to really figure out, who is, if Alfredo really is your dad, you got to get one of his kids, because he has a couple of kids. You're going to have to get them to target test. But later on, she comes back to me and she says, I really think that the other brother, Juan, is my bio dad. And I was like, but he was 13 years old when you were, conceived. And she said, I'm not going to lie, I would not put it past my mother to have gone ahead and been with a 13-year-old and maybe have me. And I think I look the spitting image of this guy. So I was like, okay, well, you have at it. You go ahead and look. But she still, to this day, has not reached out to them. I think she's afraid. She really doesn't want to know the answer or the possibility that there might be some truth to that, to her mom, And of course, the mom's still alive, and she keeps asking her, and she says she's never been with any of them. So, but she has embraced being half Mexican. What's kind of cool is that she and her husband have been going to Mexico every year for 20 years for their vacation. They go like around in October. And they always go there. She says she always felt like it was home. And now, it explains it because she is half Mexican. And I tell her there's this saying that my mom used to say, that blood always recognizes blood. So, even though she was, that she looked like she was güerita, she definitely has some Latina in her, and she was able to sense it every time she visited Mexico, and she loved spending time there, and now she knows there's a reason why. So let's work our way into putting some green hearts for Jean and her story, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. Bye, everybody.